Welcome to the Gallivant Gals Podcast. I am Natalie, and my co-host, unfortunately, is not here tonight, but don't worry, I got Marti here with me. So, welcome, Marti.
Thank you.
We are going to be talking about we all went to the Dominican Republic, but Marti was so fortunate that she
Yes.
extended her stay and she went to Excellence El Carmen. But
Yes.
before we talk about that, I want you to introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about you.
Okay. My name's Marti. I am from Texas. Let's see. I've been a travel agent for about 3 years now.
Seems
The
like
last
longer, by the way, because you're such an awesome
I've been
travel agent.
traveling for a lot longer than that.
Yes, true. Yes, tell us about all those travels.
Oh man. I counted it up the other day. I think now I've been to 23 countries,
That's awesome.
4 continents. Yeah, several countries throughout Europe. I think Norway is probably like my absolute favorite country. I would live there if I could live there. Like the
Wow.
hiking is absolutely amazing. And some of my other favorite trips were climbing Kilimanjaro, doing a safari after that, in Africa, and then doing the Everest Base Camp trek in Nepal. So I'm kind
That
of an adventurous traveler.
is super awesome. Now, I think, didn't you say that when you were in Norway, people would like speak Norwegian to you?
Yes. Anytime that I'm in like the Nordic country, like Finland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, it's like
Yes.
I guess it's the fair
I mean,
skin, blue eyes, blonde hair.
yes.
And then my
Um,
my my Texas accent, I'm like, no. And they're like, oh yeah, she doesn't belong.
No, no, no. What is your background? Do you have Scandinavian in your background? Because like mine is, I have a lot of Danish in mine.
Yes. And so I have done I think it was through 23andMe.
I've done 23andMe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dad did one through Ancestry. And so I didn't like
Uh-huh.
have his link anyway, but yes, we do have a lot of Danish in us.
Well, look at
So
us. We really
yeah.
could be sisters.
I know, sisters.
Sisters,
Not,
exactly. I'm
not
not
the
your mom. Well, I feel so fortunate that we have you with us at Gallivant Gals.
Thank you.
What is a
Fortunate to
favorite?
be here.
Well, thanks. Thanks so much. What is a favorite trip that you booked for someone? Or like, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I've been fortunate to book a lot of really, really neat trips, but I think one that stands out for me just because of the significance of it. So, several years ago, I don't know if you remember hearing it on the news, there was a school shooting in Uvalde.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so one of the victims of that school shooting, her dream was to go to Paris.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh.
her older sister was graduating that year, and the police chief's foundation actually funded a trip to Paris for the family. And so they contacted me, and I was able to set that trip up for them, work with them, and get them to Paris. And it was a very special trip
Right?
for me. Yeah.
I think that is awesome. Like
Yeah.
you were a little bit of, they'll remember that you helped them with that trip and they'll always remember that trip.
Yeah.
So
Of course, I
that
absolutely
is
hate
awesome.
the reasoning, but it's a
Yes.
special trip. That trip sticks out to me.
Yes. Well, I think they will always remember that for
Yeah.
sure. So that's really cool that you were able to do
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
But you got to stay at Excellence El Carmen.
Yes.
And we were just talking, there's an Excellence that's right next door. And what did you say the technical name for that one was?
Excellence Punta Cana. And so
Well, that was
excellence
easy. I was thinking it had something else in there, but go on.
so where Excellence El Carmen sits, like if you're facing the beach to the right of it, is the Finest Resort, which is their sister resort. It's family friendly resort. And then off to the left, it's like one or two resorts down sits Excellence Punta Cana. So they all kind of sit right there together.
How far away from the airport was it?
It was about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like when we just stayed at Iberostar, was that about 20 minutes?
It took us like 25 minutes. And then from from Iberostar to Excellence was another about 25 minutes. And then depending on the traffic coming back, we hit some
Yes.
traffic, and that's what took a little bit longer. But if you remember when we went and toured Secrets, that
Yes,
was the
yes, yes.
furthest one out. So
Yeah.
Excellence was only like a couple more miles down the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And wasn't your transportation included with your
Yes,
hotel?
yes, and it is very luxurious. I have never had that nice of transfers, like even with sandals.
Yeah.
They load you into kind of a big van. This was a private Suburban.
So I didn't know that, but I just recently had a friend that posted pictures about they had just stayed at Excellence, and she took a picture inside their transportation, and it was nice. Like
Yes.
decked out leather, like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it looked
Yeah.
very nice.
It was very,
So
very nice.
that's what I thought. Marty probably got to take one of those too. Oh,
Yes. Yes. And
um,
they use Seasons Transfers is the name of the company
oh,
that they use, and all of them use
the same.
that company, even the ones in Mexico.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
No.
Maybe what was your like first impressions when you pulled up, went through the lobby? What did it look like
It was night and day
from where
from
we were?
Aerostar. No, don't get me wrong. I have plenty of great things to say about our
Yes.
Aerostar stay, but it was night and day. So, like when we pulled up first, so like we had said, the transfers were included, but that's airport to airport. And so, since
Okay.
we were staying at the Iberostar, we had to figure
First.
out the transfer, right? Well, we used Uber, and they pulled up in a minivan that was like not
Yes.
great. And so anyway, us pulling up in that, I'm sure they were like,
Where did they come from?
who was they? So, anyway. And so yeah, they rush to meet us. They give us champagne immediately, take the bags, and then the door. I was amazed by the door. I know this sounds silly, but it was
No,
like a floor to ceiling door that was like automatic, and when you walked up to it, the whole thing rotated open.
I don't
It,
think I've
it
ever seen a door like
It
that.
was so cool. Yes, like wood, dark wood. And
Oh,
yeah, and
I was
I
picturing
know that
glass when you said that.
no, it was like this dark, like black wood.
Wow.
And yeah, and I know y'all had kind of touched on that in a previous podcast about like the aesthetics being very dark.
Yes.
It was like that in here too. A lot of like black granite, I guess, for the countertops and stuff like that, dark wood. But it was beautiful, beautiful resort.
See, and I really felt that way across, besides Secret's Tide. Like even Nickelodeon was dark inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Majestic, all three resorts were dark. Yeah, so
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, and so when you walked in, it was like the check-in was to the right, or sorry, to the left, and then the Excellence Club check-in is to the right. And then there was a huge staircase that went down, and then a big bar that was black granite, also a circular bar that sat there at the bottom. So like the lobby was very,
Big wow
very
factor.
nice. Yes.
Yes, I am sure.
Yeah.
So we just talked about the lobby. So you liked the lobby bar area. Was there anything else in the lobby?
Not that I recall. I mean, oh, actually, in the lobby, that's also how you accessed the spa and the fitness center
Okay.
was right there. And so I did not realize this, which we can get into later, but having Excellence Club, you get a little bit more amenities than normal.
Uh-huh.
And hydrotherapy came with
Yes.
that. I never did that. I didn't really realize that it was included. But so I
So
didn't.
were you with club or were you not with
Yes,
club?
I
Oh,
was.
you were with club and you didn't do it. Well,
I
I didn't
didn't know
realize
that
it.
that was included. I had
Yeah.
no idea. And
I didn't
so,
realize that at Iberostar either, but
yeah,
Ashley was
and
like,
it's
"Oh, I booked
affordable.
it." So we
Yeah,
just Oh, yeah, and you were
I was. I was like, dang.
there
But
too.
I did utilize the fitness center one day. And
Hey, you did it. You did
yeah,
it.
It was actually kind of small. I wish I would have went in and looked at Iberostars because that was supposed to be, was it a
Huge.
2 or 3 story?
Two levels.
Okay. Well,
Two
this one is
levels, and
small.
they had like a full like classroom with punching bags, and like it looked from the
Yeah.
video. I actually didn't go in, but I did watch a video on it, and it looked pretty
Yeah.
impressive. But
Yeah. Well, this one was pretty small, but it was very nice. But yeah.
but also compared to rooms, there's 452 rooms at Excellence. That it's adult only, so it's just
Mm-hmm.
two occupancy. Where
Mm-hmm.
Ibero Star, there was like 560 something in the Selection Bavaro
Yeah.
area, and then there was 162 in the Coral area. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of rooms. So the gym was, thankfully, it was
Yeah.
bigger. So they don't need a big monstrous gym for that
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yep.
of rooms, how was
Yes.
the room situation?
So I got to stay in the Excellence Club Suite with a private pool and deck, is how it's labeled.
Look at you.
Um, and it was beautiful. So you walk into the room, and there's a walk-in closet right in front of you to put all your luggage and stuff. Off to the left, there's a huge like vanity, 2 sinks. That's where your toilet, your shower, and then it had like a jet pool. I almost said a hot tub, but like
Ooh.
a jetted tub in there.
Uh-huh.
And then it had a sitting area with a stocked mini bar, and that's another perk of the Excellence Club, which I can get into the differences here in a minute. But you get a
Was there Diet Coke or Coke
no.
Zero?
They had Coke Zero there
Okay, Coke Zero's
in the
fine.
fridge. Yeah,
Okay.
they did stock that. Yep.
That's good. We
Yeah.
did not. I was really sad about that. But go on. The
Yeah.
mini
Yeah.
bar and
They did have
everything.
that. And then the bed, and then out on the deck, we had our own private pool, and
So it
lots of
wasn't
different
shared with
loungers. No,
other.
it was just for us.
Nice.
Yeah. And they cleaned it several times a day. So like it's the privacy that they have up are like big bushes. Now
Uh-huh.
with someone walking by, if they look, they can like see into your pool still. So like don't be like,
I would say, did they have
sunbathing without
signs
your
like
suits
no
on.
nudity, or is
They
that an
didn't have any
option?
signs for that. They didn't have any signs, but I
Well,
mean it's
you would not
obvious
find
that
me swimming in the
no.
nude.
No,
So
no, no, no.
you don't have
But
to
yeah,
worry.
and there's like a little cutout at the back to where they can pop in and, clean your pool out and pop back out. And so,
Nice.
but one of my complaints with it was the pool, I guess because it was so small, it didn't stay cool. It was
Oh,
hot.
like you're in a bathtub.
Yes. And
Yes.
so, it's beautiful.
Not
Once it was
refreshing.
shaded,
Yeah.
yeah, it was okay. But I didn't hardly spend much time in it just because of how hot it was in the water. And
I
then
could
it's
see
hot
that.
outside in the sun.
Yeah. That
So,
humidity was strong. It
yeah.
was it was pretty hot for
So,
even being February, March. It was toasty. So I couldn't
yeah.
imagine in the summertime there.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, it was a very, very beautiful room. So,
That is awesome. Were the pillows comfortable?
yes, they were so much
Okay.
better. Yeah. Yes.
Ours were a little hard, not as
Yes.
comfortable.
Yeah.
What about the pool, like the main pool and the pools around property?
They have a lot of pools on property, and then a lot of the rooms have some form of pool. So whether
Right.
that be its own private pool or a swim out, a ton of the rooms are swim outs. The upper level rooms, most of them will have their own plunge pool, which
Oh,
looks like it's
cool.
like a hot tub, but
In the
cold water. I
ground.
don't know if
Yeah.
there's, or it was
Yeah.
any cooler than ours, but so a lot of,
True.
yeah. And so, because we were Excellence Club, there's two, as far as I know, two Excellence Club pools as
Pools.
well. And then, yeah, you had the huge main pool that had like a swim up bar. It had a couple different like areas of it too. And
Uh-huh.
then a lot of the rooms that were like ocean front, they were swim out rooms. They had their own pool. So like none of the pools were ever crowded.
Well, that's nice. So you didn't have to fight for a chair or
Yeah.
nothing. And I wonder
No.
at what capacity it was at when you were there, because every resort we toured was like high capacity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it did not fill.
that's good.
like that at all. But I think part of that was just because of how spread out, like how many pools and all of that. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Like it wasn't like, because there was no swim outs where we were at or anything. So everyone had to go to the pool or
yeah,
the beach. So,
right.
but even there, I never had a problem finding a chair. So
Yeah,
that was good.
yeah.
Speaking of the beach, how was the beach there?
The beach, they took very good care of it. They went out and plowed it every morning.
That is
Um,
so nice.
yeah, and I know a few of us when we were at Iberostar had some problems. I don't know if they were sand fleas or what they were that were biting our
Oh,
feet,
uh-huh.
but I didn't have any issues there.
Weird. Yeah,
So,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I know Angelica had talked about it at one point that they were getting bitten by some stuff
I
on the beach.
didn't notice when we were there, but when we got back, I had a couple red dots around my ankle.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, it was
thought
more
it was
feet.
probably something like that. But they didn't itch or anything. It was weird.
Yeah,
They were just a couple of red dots that were
yeah.
just there. That obviously it came from something.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah, but there's plenty of space. Never had any troubles getting a chair
yes,
or anything.
I was
Yeah.
very envious of your pictures of
Oh,
at the beach with your book silently
yes. Yes.
resting.
Yes. I will say I noticed that the waves were bigger down that way than
Yes.
where we were at Eurostar.
I yeah, I heard that as well.
Yep. Yep.
Um, because I forgot the name of the beach that technically that beach is. I forget the
Yes.
name
I
of
could
it.
never pronounce it when he was saying
Because they
it.
were saying I was good. That's what I was gonna try to say. I was like, oh yeah, that I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
forgot the name of the beach, so I'm not even gonna try to say it. Now what about the food that was there? Like,
Food
did
was
they
very
have
good.
like was the buffet open breakfast, lunch, dinner? Like, did you have to do sit down? What were the
Nope.
sit downs like? Reservations, no reservations?
No I'm telling you, it was a complete 180
Different.
from where
Yeah.
we came from. When we checked in, one of the first questions they asked was, "Do you have any food allergies?"
Yes.
Like immediately one of the first
First
questions.
question.
Yes. And then when we checked in, like when we would go up to the restaurant, they would ask that. Then our waiter or waitress would ask that. So they were very on it. We never had while I'm thinking of it, we never had any trouble with the language barrier there
Oh, that's good.
at all.
Yeah.
Like they spoke really, really good English there.
Yes. And not that it has to be perfect, but just some. Just a
Right.
little. Like
Yeah.
just a little.
Yeah.
Was the
Um,
food good though? Like what was your favorite
yes.
restaurant? What restaurants
Yes.
did they have?
Yeah, the food was really good. So, the buffet was open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Um, I ate there for breakfast. I think that's the only time I ate, yeah, in the buffet. And it was really good. Like they had a huge selection. Very,
Yes.
very good. For lunch, your options was like the buffet, or they have little like food trucks. They have a little cafe type thing that's out on the beach, room service. Some of the nicer restaurants open for lunch and
Uh-huh.
have a different menu. And then all of the nicer restaurants, so there are no reservations required. The only reservation that is required is at the Japanese.
The
Yep.
teppanyaki stuff where they
But
cook in front of you
yes, and it's only if you want to sit at the
at the
grill. If you want to
table.
sit at a normal just table, you don't need a reservation. And so,
Nice.
yeah. And so the food was really good. No reservations required. Like, never had issues getting seated.
So
And
I never
then,
had
so
to
like,
wait.
no,
Gone.
excuse me.
No. Nice.
Nope. And so there was so where I ate at a French restaurant,
Uh-huh.
an Italian restaurant, the Excellence Club only restaurant, which we went there because they had a tomahawk steak.
Oh, nice.
It was like that big. Uh,
Yes.
and then the steakhouse. So we ate a lot of steak while we were there. But they also have a Mexican restaurant, the Japanese, which I wanted to eat at the Japanese. And the night that I was going to go, it was closed. So you got to look at the schedule because some of them close on random
Okay.
nights. But yeah,
Good
an
to know.
Indian,
Oh,
um,
wow.
Mexican, a Spanish, seafood. Like they had a lot of
Wow.
choices. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Um
Oh, and room
Fingers
service too.
crossed.
Room service is included for everyone.
Uh-huh.
But one of the perks of staying in Excellence Club is that you get an elevated menu.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's really nice. I
yeah,
wonder what well, we could look up, see what the differences of the menu. That would
yeah.
be
There
interesting.
were only a couple items. It wasn't anything
Okay. Like
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Now, what about in the club? Did they have like a little separate area that you could go to and get snacks and drinks during the day? Like,
For Excellence Club?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so the differences with Excellence Club, so you get a different check-in, and where you check in at, like it's a locked door. You have to have your
Uh-huh.
room key to access it, saying that you're, club level. But they obviously they listen, so we could go check in. But in that same room, there's a private bar, there's
Okay.
snack areas, and that's where the Excellence Club restaurant is located, and that one's called Magna. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's that whole area. And then they also have, like I said, exclusive pools, bars,
What about the
exclusive spot on the
beach?
beach.
Okay.
Yep. But honestly, I don't think that they monitor
Oh,
it.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, because we
I was
were.
just going to ask, do you feel like it's worth it to get the club? Or you'll have just as great of an experience if you're in like a regular room?
I think that you would have just as good of an
Yeah.
experience.
If you
Because
want
like,
to feel exclusive and have your
yeah,
exclusive areas and things like that, then go for the
yeah.
club.
Yeah, because honestly, my least favorite of all the restaurants that I ate at was actually the
The club one.
exclusive one. Yeah. And then like, you do get an elevated, like you get top shelf liquors in your
Oh,
mini bar
uh-huh.
versus other
Yeah.
wares, or, little hors d'oeuvres during the day. And so like there are nice little touches, but
Yeah.
overall, if you were comparing and it was going to be a huge price difference, then
Yeah. But if it's a little, then you'd
yeah.
say go
And
for
you do
it.
get the hydrotherapy too. That's one perk
Oh,
of it.
yes.
So,
That is nice.
yeah, yeah,
Well, like from Ibero Star, I would definitely say if for some reason someone wanted to stay at that one, I'd say, well, you need to go club level because
yeah,
then you can get into a restaurant and eat. And so I would
right.
definitely recommend it there. But it sounds like you'd have a good experience whether you had the club or not the
Yeah,
club. But
definitely. Yeah.
what about the activities? Like, did they have a lot of included activities or like what went on during the day or
Yeah.
night?
So it was really like your basic all inclusive, like certain water sports are included, snorkeling, kayaking, that kind of stuff. All your land sports like beach volleyball, basketball
Uh-huh.
courts, tennis, that kind of stuff. They did like cooking classes, dancing lessons, like all of that, like kind of stuff. At night, they had different entertainment
Uh-huh.
going on. And to be honest, I did not utilize or go to any of it.
Hey, you were there to chillax.
Yes, I went toward the finest. I chilled, and like
I
I
don't
didn't
blame
do a
you
ton of
at
activities.
all. So my friend that I saw, she had posted pictures of her I think they were, I don't even know where they were, but they were at an Excellence. They had a painting class on the beach. And she made her husband go to that, and she was like, "We will treasure these forever,"
Yeah,
in
yeah,
like a funny way. But
yeah.
they like painted on the beach. I thought that was a really cool
That
activity.
is cool. Yeah.
So,
And in the app, and so I would encourage anyone going, download the app ahead of time, because you don't need like your room number or anything in the app. Like you could get on it and look right now, even if you don't have a
oh
reservation.
yeah,
You can pull up all the menus, all of that, but there's a
oh,
schedule, like there's an entertainment schedule that tells you, almost like a cruise, that's like
right?
at 8 o'clock it's yoga on the beach, at 9 it's this. I heard them playing bingo,
Yeah.
uh, like close to the pool one day, like so. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it's also, I would say, the Excellence El Carmen is more of a like quiet, relaxing resort
So what would you
versus
say
like
is the
breathless.
right? Oh yeah. What
You
would
know,
you say is the age group of people that go?
I would say mid 20s to, I don't know, mid 40s, 50s. I mean, of course, there's all ages sprinkled in there, but
Yeah.
overall, I would say around mid 20s to mid 40s, 50s.
Did you feel like it was more of a couples resort
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I
like
did. And actually, Excellence does have a few room options that fit
oh,
3 adults.
I
To
didn't
keep
realize
double the
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 2 double beds, but it's a 3 max of 3 occupancy.
Okay, I didn't know
And so,
that.
yeah, there were several, you could tell, friend groups there too. And I mean, it was a good little mix, but I would say just because it was kind of more of a quiet, relaxing, it would be in my opinion, a good couples resort.
Yes. Yes. Or chill girls or chill
Chill,
guys that
just
aren't
kind of
looking
a chill.
for the party scene.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And there were a lot of vendors on the beach that came up to us. Um, which, like y'all had talked about, none of the beaches are private, so I think
Yeah.
that probably
Just
is
happens.
everywhere. But I did notice, I think that it was more so there than
I was
when
just gonna
I was
ask you
out at when we were out at Iberostar.
because I didn't feel like it was that bad at Iberostar. Like
No.
there was a few, but honestly, I didn't get
Yeah.
bothered personally a whole lot.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was good. Well, I'm trying to think of any other like last minute question that I might have of Iberostar of Excellence El Carmen. So if you or a loved one want to go to Excellence El Carmen or Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, please reach out to us at sales at Gallivant Gals Travel. You can reach Marty at GallivantGalsTravel.com. But remember to like, subscribe, follow, push that notification button, and we'll see you next
Yeah.
time.